In this video, we'll continue with the remaining buttons and their use case and how they can help us optimize and make our work more efficient while we are trying to finish an architectural project in Unreal Engine. So now we have a folder with a texture which is 4K in resolution, right? And to understand the use case of this toolbar, what we have to do is, if I go ahead, select the text in content browser and I click on this resize to 4K. So it is already 4K, so nothing happens. For some reason, if this texture was for 8K, in fact, or 6K or above 4K, I can select this, click on this resize to 4K, and this texture will be resized to 4K. But I will highly recommend, before you convert any texture to 4K or anything else, you should go ahead and use this power of 2 first. So select the texture, click power of 2 so that you are sure that this texture has become power of 2, and then you go ahead and click on resize accordingly. Suppose I want this diffuse texture to be 2K. I will go ahead and click on 2K. Now if I go here and open this texture, and then when I go here in advanced, suppose if this is like this and not this advanced, you have to go here on this advanced, and you see this 2K texture. So the imported texture was 4K and then displayed texture is 2K. For some reason you want to optimize the scene's space taking on your hard drive, you can go ahead and right click and click on resize to reduce texture size, and then you can set it to 2K. That way this texture will be 2K forever and you cannot get it back to 4K whatsoever. So you are done, you can't do anything, right? So always go ahead and select this and resize to 2K instead. So if you use this button, then at any point of time the texture will be still 4K, but you can revert back to 4K if you need. So later on down the time you realize that this texture is something is very important for your object on which you have applied, and you want to revert back to 4K, you can go ahead and change it to 4K. But if you go ahead and reduce it this way, it's reduced forever, you cannot go back again. So I prefer it doing resizing it this way because I can reset to default anytime, or you can just open it and set this to 4K anytime you want, because the texture will be still 4K, but in game it will be 2K. So that gives me clear rollback opportunity if I wish to, for some reasons. Once you decide that this texture is never going to be 4K back again, then you can go ahead and right click and then resize it to, then click on reduce size to resize the texture resolution forever, because you are sure you don't want to get back to 4K no matter what. So now all this button does the same. So if you want to resize this texture to 2K, you can go ahead and click on this button. You want to resize this to 1K, you can go ahead and click on this button, and same for this. So this makes the texture power of 2. This resizes the texture above 4K to 4K, and then same happens to this, and you want to reset back the texture to default, you can just click on this button to resize it. These are very helpful when you are trying to optimize the scene in terms of material. So texture should be in your total control. One key formula I would like to explain here is, for diffuse I keep it 2K, for normal textures I keep it 1K, and for roughness and specular I keep it 512. And these tools or these buttons gives me total control on the textures according to my requirement. So I hope you understand that point. Now let's continue with this bake texture auto and bake texture manual. So these both does exactly the same. I would prefer using manual, and let's see how we can use it. So suppose this is an object, and you can see here it has multiple material IDs, and I want to collapse them all into one object. One important note here is, it's not going to, these two buttons are not going to work on every object, but wherever they work, try to use them, right? Even though these two button does exactly the same, I like doing it manual, and I will just explain on manual, and you have to go ahead and do the same with, you can go ahead and do the same with this bake texture auto. So to understand what this does is, it will collapse the multiple IDs of a mesh to a single material with single texture, and it's helping you save lots of draw calls. So for that, what I will do is, I will go ahead and search this object, and then I will right click and make it a duplicate because I might need it later. I will press save, and then I will search it. So this is the mesh and it has multiple mesh. So what I will do is I will just go ahead and click on Bake Texture Manual, but before that I will make sure the enable Nanite is not enabled. I will highly recommend disable Nanite before you use this tool. So Nanite is disabled and this is not an instance static mesh. So you can just go ahead and click on this Bake Texture Auto. So as you can see now, all the other material IDs have been collapsed to a single material with single texture. So if I open this and then if I open this texture, you see here they have been merged into one and very well flattened and applied on the mesh. So on mesh, it seems like nothing has happened, but internally all those multiple material IDs have been collapsed to a single material with single texture and giving us a lots of draw call reduction. So if you understand that point, it's very useful. This will not work on every object you desire, but will work for a lot of time. So when it will work, it's going to be great, and it helps in reducing the draw calls by collapsing the multiple material to a single material ID. So I hope that you understand this. If I go ahead here and then bring this back here, and then I can go ahead and click on auto. So again, we have all those four material IDs. I will go ahead and click on auto, and it does exactly the same as manual. For some meshes, auto will be helpful. For some meshes, bake texture manual will be helpful. On some meshes, they both will not be able to do what you want, but where they will be able to do what you want, it will be a great advantage of reducing the draw calls. So we have them in our tool, in our hand, and we will be using and you can use it once needed, and they helps a lot, and they have helped me a lot optimizing the scene on objects with having lots of material IDs. So I have also made a tutorial on this. So I was having a mess where I had 14 material IDs, and I was able to collapse them into a single material with single texture and reducing and removing all those unwanted draw calls, which was quite efficient. So now I will go back to that same texture here to understand what this does and this does and this does. So as you can see here, we have a texture now, and we want to understand what this PBR all does. What we can do is, suppose I have only one texture here, right? And I need all the different textures like roughness, height, specular, and normal, and all those things. We having this tool here, or we having this button here, we select a texture in the content browser and just click on PBR all. After few seconds, you will see that this tool has gone ahead and generated all types of different textures available for you. So you can imagine how amazing this is. So it has generated height, metallic, normal, ORM, roughness, specular, and hue. Just from one single inside Unreal Engine, inside content browser, having this tool there, you just select, click a button, and all of these textures are there for you to be used. If I go ahead and make a new folder again here, and I move it to copy it here, and I go inside this, and then now if I select this texture again, and if I click on PBR normal, so in most cases this is what I do, is to keep things optimized and to keep things look natural and realistic. What I do is I try to apply normal, roughness, and diffuse texture on all the major objects of the scene, and then all the remaining objects and the remaining metal, I don't want to use the textures because every texture is a draw call. So I would like to go along with parameter values, right? So for that, whenever I have to do or generate a texture, like whenever I have to go ahead and take extra effort to make some texture really more realistic, what I do is I use this button, PBR normal and roughness. That means, and if I go ahead and click on this button, it will only generate the normal and roughness, which is absolute needed to make something look as realistic as possible, thus saving me lots of instruction of unnecessary other textures which might not be increasing the visual fidelity. Tool is there, you can just get every texture you want if you want to go ahead, and this enables you to follow the PBR workflow to the best way possible. So if when scene was brought from Max to Unreal Engine and it has all the textures, perfect, go ahead and use it. And if you don't have it, not a problem at all. You can just go ahead and create all the textures and use them. So you are not limited and you don't need to go here and then try to make texture and take all types of AI tools and waste your time. You need any kind of textures, use these two buttons depending on your use case. So here I will just go ahead and click on PBR normal and roughness, and within seconds you have the normal and roughness of that texture in front of you. And now you can go ahead and do a hybrid PBR workflow. So hybrid PBR workflow means on some material instruction you are using parameter, and on some important material instructions you are using actual textures. So I prefer using diffuse, normal and roughness on the texture instruction, and other instructions I would like to use the parameter value that gives me much more efficient material. And there all those material instances will be derived from the single master material or maybe 2 or 3 maximum. So the whole ecosystem becomes so well optimized. Now let's understand this delete unused. So if I go ahead and select this folder and I go ahead and click on delete unused, it instantly selects everything in the content browser and the subfolders. The main folder which we have selected, it will go ahead and scan everything very efficiently and make sure everything that is not being used in any level whatsoever. It's not about this level. It will go ahead and cross check it that if it's being used in any levels, it will not select. And if something is never being used on any level, on any mesh or any material, it will go ahead and select them. And now you can just go ahead and right click and delete them. So it helps you clean your content browser in a very fast and efficient manner and a very safe way. So accidentally you will never be able to select something which is actually being used in any level whatsoever. So if it deselects anything, you can go ahead and confidently delete it without any issue. See, no references at all. It just selects absolute unnecessary meshes, materials and textures in the scene, which you can just go ahead and delete them. So much efficient, so powerful and so easy to be used, right? Now let's go ahead and check. So suppose I want to see a stat FPS, click on this. Suppose you want to see a stat RHI, click on this to hide it. Stat unit graph and scene meshes. So you will see that total number of static mesh in the scene is 55, and then scene triangle, the total number of triangles in the scene is 500,000. The entire tool is available in a way and presented and added in a way where it will either help you get something done faster, or either it will help you optimize your project step by step. As a result of using this tool, you will be able to finish a project very fast and efficiently and optimize the project as much as you can, the best way possible. So I hope all the videos were able to explain the use case of all these tools. I will see you all in the next video. Till then, have a great time.